That is hinge. Okay, so we need that in the backswing, but we're not spending it all to the top. Hey golfers, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be looking at in the backswing when to and how to set or hinge the wrists. There's also something that you must do. It's not quite as simple as just hinging the wrists. Unfortunately, there's another little thing we need to do in order to make that work. So we're going to look at that in today's video. This message or question came from a subscriber on my community. If you're a subscriber of mine, firstly, thank you. And in the community dashboard, I had sent, what would you like looked at? What would you like filmed? This was one of them. I think it was Brian had sent it. So thank you, Brian, for that. Another one, quick update for the subscribers who's been with me since day one. You can see the studio is taking shape. I know it's not perfect. New addition, favorite golf course on the wall. That was a birthday present. And we're going to do a lot more. The flooring is next. I'll tighten up this, loads of stuff. So we'll keep that going over time. And I know a few people have mentioned they kind of enjoy the process of it. Okay, so let's get into it. If you haven't done so already, please don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's get going. Okay, so let's get into it. Wrist hinge or set when in the backswing. Well, what does it actually mean? Well, think of your wrists working this way. That would be hinging, or what commonly people would know as setting the wrists in the backswing. Okay, we need to do that, but we need to do something else because that can in its own right cause problems. A couple of things as well. We don't want to start hinging or setting our wrists right away in the backswing. I'm about to explain why. And at the top of the backswing, we don't even want to have full wrist hinge or wrist set. Now why? Okay, well, when we get into the top of the backswing, think about the downswing in what we want to do. We want to create, well, we can call it lag. We want to create that angle and hold that angle so we can let go of it down by the ball with both arms straight here. Okay, if we expand all of our wrist hinge to the top of the backswing, we've spent it. We can't hold it any longer. Good chance we will throw it out. So we need to make this a gradual thing, leave some in the tank up here so that when we start the downswing, we can create more. If we have maxed out here, we can't do that. Okay, the other thing that we have to make sure is when we set the wrist, see, we start with our wrists in what's called extension here, so cupped, this kind of angle. We want to get to the top of the backswing and have that wrist nice and flat so we can keep the club face good. If we just set our wrists, we run the risk of coming to the top with the club face very open because that wrist is still in an extended position. We want to get that flat. So as we hinge our wrist, we need to counter that with some what's called bowing or flexion of the lead wrist. Okay, so those are the things we have to be careful about. We want to save some for the downswing, and what we want to do is we'll talk about where they start. And I like to think about when you set up to a golf ball and your club comes back to the point where your hands are in front of your right thigh. There's really no hinge, no conscious hinge. Of course, there'd be a tiny bit, but don't consciously try and do any to that point. Okay, so you've probably heard kind of the one piece takeaway. We're not doing anything yet. Okay, from this point is when we can start to hinge. Remember, if you take the club here on the ground and just lift the club to parallel, that is hinge. Okay, so we need that in the backswing, but we're not spending it all to the top. So what I want you to do, no hinge to here. Now it's different chipping and things, you might have a little hinge early, but full swing, no, not until we pass this point. Once we get to here, we're going to start to let, as we continue to rotate, it's not just a case of hinging, we do have to be turning our body while we do it. So here, hands there, start to hinge to the top. Now, me at full hinge would be this. All right, notice I am just shy of that. If you want to feel what it's like to not use it all, go from here with no hinge, go to the top, loads of hinge, then knock it back a little bit. Now that's keeping you some for the downswing. Okay, as we start the downswing, we want that, we keep some and we use the rest of it in the downswing. Okay, so when we do that, obviously practice it, get a feel for it. You'll hear drills and things like set it here. Problem is that's all done. We can't keep that angle the whole way through the swing. We have to save some for the downswing. All right, save some for everyone else, as the saying goes. Okay, so I'm feeling this, just playing around, having fun with it. No hinge. Start to hinge, but not fully. Then from here, I can create more in the downswing. Simple as that. Okay, so we're saving some for the downswing. Now, part two, we must make sure that we counter the fact that if we just hinge, we are going to end up with a cupped wrist at the top and the club face down. So this is where we're going to get into what's called lead wrist, left wrist for right-handed golfer. Flexion, okay? You might have heard this as bowing, all right? So we need a little bit of that to counter the fact that the hinge opens the face, all right? So again, back here we are experimenting, getting the feel. As a position, what you should have is a wrist at the top of your swing which is flat and or bowed. This is partly grip dependent. I've done other videos on that. That keeps the club face good. So experiment in front of a mirror. You will need a mirror for this for feedback. Just know that we're not fully hinging at the top of the backswing. If I go back to here, I hinge, and as I hinge, I am letting my wrist bow this way. Okay, so here, no hinge to the right thigh, hinge, and bow. That keeps my wrist flat. I've still got some hinge now to be able to create in the downswing and release later on in the golf swing. So it's really important that you play around with this, have fun with it, all right? Don't overthink it, you know, to keep it really simple. We're not hinging to here. We are then hinging, but we're not going to expand it all to the top. And in order to fight the fact that if we just hinge, we're going to end up with this cupped wrist and open face, we need to counter it with some bowing or flexion of the lead wrist. Okay, so give it a go, guys. I hope this helps. I really think that it is something that is massively overcomplicated, and this could really help you out just to simplify it. But the most important thing, remember that you are not using it all. Keep some so that you can create more in the downswing. Okay, guys, thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed today's video. If you have any questions, please just let me know in the comments. You know that I'm here to help you and appreciate all your feedback. Let me know also where you're watching from. It's always interesting to hear where people are tuning in from. And if you haven't done so already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.